I speak now, not in the hopes of gaining sympathy or understanding, and not so others might find some utility in my words. I speak so you comprehend the ultimate futility of your actions. After all, if you were curious, or should that be foolish enough to come this far, then you must have very little in the way of heed. So take in my story, but I warn you, in the end you'll find no great epiphany, no heroic sacrifice, just darkness. I won't bore you with the details of my childhood. Suffice to say, it was appropriately bland. I was born, I grew up. Besides, I was never really alive in my younger days. No, rather, I'll begin with the journey to Yharnam, where my true life began. The storm lasted 2 days and nights. We managed to brave it on the first, but by the second we were exhausted, and after a few miles trudging through the mud, Yharnam collapsed. I found us shelter in a nearby hut and made a fire to keep warm while we waited out this storm. The roof was leaky, but the fire held out, so it was enough. Yharnam was in a right state that night. The rain soaked straight through his clothes and gave him a fever, as if his injuries weren't bad enough. We were both in bad shape, but he was worse, especially now he was lying there delirious, calling out for God knows who while the fever burned away inside him. And I was stuck right there next to the poor bastard. And for what? For having the will to try a better life? Because certain small-minded people who presumed to be our betters judged us criminals and chased us from our home under the threat of death, all in the name of a contrived morality? And now here we are, with little and no idea how long it would take us to get to Yanam, the fabled city with a miraculous cure for all affliction. The polite thing for Yanam would have been to just die so at least one of us could make it. Yet there he was, clinging to life like a barnacle, unable to comprehend that the universe was done with him. A sorry fate, if ever there was one. I buried him before dawn in a grave smothered by a pile of stones. I didn't bother with a eulogy. What would have been the point? He was dead, and there was no one around to listen to me bumble a few awkward platitudes, so I left it. You think me cold? You wouldn't understand. Not unless you went through what I did. But I'm not going back through the sorry details. What's done is done. No use drudging it all up now. Besides, I often find the past is a lot like the dead. Best left buried. down, boy.
Oi there, that was quite a show. I heard a commotion and found you fighting that sucker. I thought for sure you were a goner. I ran over, but you took him down before I could help.
Who are you?
Ah, forgive me, noble warrior. I'm Victor, Hunter of the Church. From your accent, I'm guessing you're not from around here.
No.
Yes, I should have known you weren't a citizen. Most of that lot are holed up indoors every night, waiting it out while we clean up the streets. Useless, the lot of them. They're lucky to have the church watching out for their interests.
What's going on?
Ah, sorry, yes, of course. You must be terribly confused right now. Come with me to Cathedral Ward. You'll find all the answers you need there.
And why would I do that?
Well, the thing is, you see, we don't get too many tourists round these parts. And the good people of Yharnam aren't, shall I say, the most welcoming sort at the best of times. They don't get out too much. So I reckon you had a really good reason for coming all the way out here. Of course, you could go back and forget this whole night ever happened.
Okay.
Ah, excellent! Come, don't be shy. I bet the choir will be most interested in meeting you, my friend.
The choir?
All will be answered in Cathedral Ward. Come, let's not dawdle now.
Good eve, Victor.
Good eve, Deacon. How goes thee?
I am well. Has it been a profitable hunt?
As profitable as you'd expect, I guess. Lots of beasts in need of killing, but things are well under control.
That's good to hear. The church is most grateful to our noble hunters, and the sacrifices they make. Speaking of which, shouldn't you be out there right now?
Oh, yes, of course. Only, I found this gentleman during the hunt. He killed a sucker, single-handedly.
And,
Well, I thought...
you thought to bring an outsider into the ward?
No, I mean...
I hope I'm not interrupting. Good evening. Victor, it's been some time since last we spoke, and it appears you've brought me a gift.
Yes. This is...
My name is Brador.
Brador. Does Victor speak true? Did you kill a lost soul, all by yourself?
Yes.
Then, it is my honor to make your acquaintance, sir. Please let me introduce myself. I am Lawrence, vicar of the Healing Church. This is First Deacon Ophelia. And you've already met Victor, one of our most enthusiastic young hunters. Brador, you stand now in the holiest of holies. We are the purveyors of blood ministration, and this is our church. The church was founded for the sole purpose of providing the people of Yharnam our sacred healing blood, given to us by the gods themselves. A blessing we wish to share one day with all mankind. Isn't that why you came here? To seek the blessing of the gods?
I heard a rumour about a miraculous cure. It's true then? You can heal all ailments?
I myself can do nothing. As you can see, I am but a man, flesh and blood as you are. It is the gods and their mercy that can heal you.
How?
Through their blood, of course. Our healing blood is the blood of the gods themselves, the true gods, not the false deities worshipped by the religions of men, but the gods of the cosmos, who are sympathetic to the plight of humankind, and answer when called upon.
What's going on in this city? The thing that attacked me, are there more of them? Is that what you hunt each night?
Yes. For many years now, the people of Yanam have been afflicted by an evil curse which we call the Scourge of the Beast. Yanam citizens are turning into vile monsters, and turning on one another. Husbands kill their wives and children. Brother attacks brother every night without fail. That is why we decided to make Yanam the place where we would build our church, because these people need our help more than anyone.
Yet the curse is still here. Why haven't you cured it yet?
Be careful, interloper. Do not presume to question the vicar.
It's quite all right, Ophelia. That is, in fact, why the hunt exists. Each night, brave hunters like Victor here venture out onto the streets to slay the vile fiends that infest our great city. It's also why I'd like you to stay with us, Brador. We could use a man like you.
Why are we asking this outsider for help? We have enough good hunters in the church.
Because I don't believe our meeting tonight is an accident. Something tells me our fates are intertwined in ways we don't yet fully comprehend. It could be Providence. I would like for Brador to join our cause. What do you say, friend? Will you help us purge our city from the scourge that ails it?
I'll stay, for now.
Wonderful. Welcome to the Healing Church. Victor, please find some accommodation for our newest hunter, and provide vials for his injuries. Thank you, Brador. We are most grateful for your help. I have matters to attend to, but we'll speak again soon. May the good blood guide your way.
I don't know why I agreed to stay. Looking back on it, in that moment I felt powerless to do anything else. I just couldn't say no to that man. Besides, what choice did I have? It's not as if I had anywhere else to go, and even if I did, I wouldn't get very far the state I was in. I figured holding up here for a while wouldn't be so bad, and I was curious to know more about these people and their church. Not that I trusted them. That woman Ophelia was cold as ice, and every word that slipped from Victor's mouth dripped with sarcasm. But Lawrence, I didn't quite know what to make of him yet. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, that night was the first time I ever took the blood. I'd never felt anything like it. Yes, I joined the church, but I was more of a mercenary than a full member. At least, that's how I saw it. It worked quite well for my needs, too. They provided me with room and board, and all I had to do in return was join the nightly beast hunters. I didn't bother attending mass or any of that worship rubbish either. From what I could tell, the gods of the healing church were as fictional as any other. But the blood, it healed my wounds overnight, and it was intoxicating. Bliss delivered via a tiny red vial. Over time, it didn't matter if they paid me or not. All I cared for was getting my allotment of blood at the end of each night. After a while, the days and nights seemed to blend into one, and all my senses focused on the singular feeling of euphoria that filled my entire being each time I injected that sweet crimson nectar. My simple routine went on for months, until one night when I was invited back to Cathedral Ward where I first met Lawrence. I'd never been personally invited before, and I wasn't about to say no to the people who ran the city.
Ah, there you are. It's good to see you again, Brador. I trust you're keeping well.
Yes, I have, thank you.
And I am glad to hear it. I've been hearing many good things about you and the work you've been doing. Victor tells me you're now an indispensable member of the Church Hunters.
I do what I'm asked.
You're too modest, my friend. Your talents are already becoming well known amongst the populace, and have not gone unnoticed by the choir either. And it's because of your unique talents that I've called you both here tonight. There's something I would ask of you.
We live to serve the church.
Master Lawrence, before we go any further, are you sure this is wise? We don't know anything about this man.
I have a name, you know.
You'll have to forgive Ophelia, Brador. As you can tell, she's most protective of me. Unfortunately, she has good cause. There are those who hate the church and would wish me harm.
Why would they want to harm you? All you do is help people.
Small-minded men need little reason to hate. Since its founding, the church has had enemies both within and without. There's a particularly vile specimen by the name of Oliver Froome, who's gained a small following, calling for civilian authority to run Yanam in place of the church. Chosen by the people, he says. Doubtless he sees himself as a sterling candidate to lead this new authority. The vile little man has even gone as far as to suggest that the church should be removed by force if necessary. After all we've done for these people, curses of the gods upon them.
Now, Ophelia. We ought to take pity on the poor creatures. They do not know the gods' love, and so are lost to reason. But we can't allow a few misguided souls to get in the way of our holy mission. And even under the steady guidance of the church, Yharnam is teetering on the edge. I dread to think what would happen if the church were no longer able to do its vital work.
Indeed. The surest cure for any disease is to cut it out at the source. We trust the two of you will do what is necessary to bring this matter to a satisfactory end.
Hey, look at me! I'm a Yharnamite. Where's my blood? Get lost, you filthy foreigner.
We have a job to do. Try and take it seriously lest we both get caught.
Oh, I do, comrade. I'm the picture of gravity.
What you are is an idiot.
Ah, how did I get stuck with a partner as dry as you? Ah, well, a question for another time. Come, the rally's already started.
Friends, thank you for joining me. It's an honor to speak with you tonight. My fellow Yharnamites, my heart lies heavy with grief. As many of you know, I've been a tireless campaigner for the rights of the Yharnam citizens my whole life. And when I witness the grave injustices of recent times, I must speak out. There is a plague stalking our great city, and I do not speak of the terrible beasts that bring havoc to our streets every night, but something far more insidious. I speak of the plague known as the Healing Church and its unscrupulous ministers. Please, friends, hear me. Yes, the church has done many good things with its special blood. But at what cost? People are afraid to speak out. But we all know the fear that strikes at our heart when the Black Church doctors come knocking. Every day citizens come to me with tales of relatives being taken away or disappearing without a trace. The church would have you believe this is all for the greater good. But I say, we shan't have it any longer. Do they expect us to sit quietly by while we lose our loved ones? The church controls all aspects of government with no oversight of any kind. This cannot be allowed. I demand the creation of a city council made up of citizens to represent the interests of people, ordinary people like you and me. We demand a say in our own affairs. The church spends lavishly on new buildings for its ministers' use. All the while, central Yharnam decays more each and every day. And what happened to their pledge to rebuild old Yharnam? They tell us our money is being spent for the good of the city. But I say we are the ones best suited to decide how to spend our money. And I say taxes are too high.
There he is, the good Mr. Frum and his adoring coterie. He's sure got a lot of wind in him, I'll give the blighter that much. Okay, I'll go on ahead. You know what to do.
Thank you, my friend. Remember, the next time you see your local parishioner, tell them you want change. Together, we can make a difference. Good night, friends. I'll see you soon. Hello? Anyone there? Ah, a good citizen. It's good to see the face of a fellow Yharnamite. I was afraid I was being chased. Do you know who I am? I'm Oliver Thrum of the local constabulary. What's your game, sir? Who do you think you are? Oh, oh, oh. Traitors everywhere. Oh, this town is finished.
What? Surprised the healing church would send assassins to dispose of a rival? And I suppose you thought this tale was written in red paint I happen to have lying around my cell. Don't be so naive. Anyway, why would I care if some busybody had to go? I was moving up in the world.
Do you know what the most difficult thing in the world is, Brador? To find a man of resolve. So few of us ever really live the lives we want. We're so willing to accept the comforting blandness of the ordinary, rather than brave the unknown. To accept what we are, rather than risk being seen as the other. My family were simple farmers, you know. Ordinary folk, tied to the land, beaten down and listless, willing to live day by day, never questioning why. Why are we here? What's our purpose in this world? When I was still a young man, I promised myself I wouldn't end up like them. So I struck out on my own to make something of my life, and became a doctor.
A doctor? I don't know many priests who are also physicians.
Ah, yes. I suppose that may be so. When I left my home, I found a new one in a place of learning. I found a mentor to teaching the rigors of science, and eventually I found my destiny. So, now here I am, a doctor who is also a vicar. There's no contradiction between the two if you think about it. Both vocations aspire to greater understanding of the world.
In my experience, they're very different.
Perhaps. But surely as a practical man, you see the proof of our works all around you.
I see that your blood helps people, but you said it comes from the gods. There are no gods.
And what if you're wrong? What if the gods are real, Brador? What if we could touch them, and be in their presence, and converse with them?
I've yet to meet one.
You did a great thing for us. Your actions not only help the church, but all mankind. More importantly, they prove you are the man I thought you were. You were asked to do something, and you did it without hesitation, without remorse. Men like yourself are a rare breed. I hope you understand that.
Is that why you asked me up here? To blow smoke up my arse?
Not very good at taking compliments, though. Never mind. We can work on that. You're right, though. I called you up here for another reason. I wanted to talk to you about our mission.
Why you're administering the blood to the people?
The key to the cosmos is here in our hands, Brador. Communion is more than just a vacuous ceremony. With each drop of blood we come closer to true enlightenment. But there's a price. The road stands before us. We need only take a step. But it lies over a great abyss. And one must take care, for even the slightest misstep could lead them to fall to the murky depths below, into the horrors of beasthood.
The blood can turn men into beasts. Then why do you give it to them?
If I know one thing, it's that we must be worthy of enlightenment, Brador. Perhaps not everyone is, and yes, the blood has the ability to reveal a man's true nature, whatever it may be. While some may descend into base and animal forms, others will transcend the petty confines of this existence, and move into higher planes of existence.
What are you talking about? I've seen all kinds of beasts in this city, but no ascended being.
That's because we haven't been introduced to her yet.
Her?
Come, Brador. I think it's time for you to meet a god. We spend our lives searching for greatness. There are many paths to take. Science, commerce, politics, war, religion. But the choice is a mirage. The truth is that every path men can fathom leads to the same place, from the lowliest serf to the mightiest king. This is one inexorable fate that binds us and keeps us shackled to a life destined to crumble into dust. But what if there were beings who found a way to escape this putrid fate? What if they found a way to go beyond death itself? And what if we could make contact with such beings? Imagine what they could teach us about the cosmos, about existence itself. Imagine the power they could bestow upon those with the insight to perceive their guidance. Would it not then be incumbent on us to seek out these beings, no matter the cost? Many years ago we made a discovery. Deep within the ruins of an ancient civilization, we uncovered a holy medium, a relic allowing us access to higher planes of thought. And with this relic, we were able to commune with the last of a race of great beings who once dominated this world. A being who gifted us with her life's blood so that we might break free the petty bonds of morality and ascend into higher planes of existence. Behold, Ebertos, daughter of the cosmos.
So it was true after all. Their blood really did come from the gods. And not the fraudulent gods I believed in as a boy, but a living, breathing God you could see and touch. And the healing church was her convent. For the first time in my life I felt a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. It was as if I'd been sleeping all my life, and it was only that day that I woke to the world. I felt as a newborn seeing the world for the first time. Every smell, every sight was a new experience that held a wonder it never had before. It was then I realised Lawrence had been right. I really was meant to come to this place, for my fate was tied to this moment in history and these people. None more so than Lawrence himself. To some he was a pioneer, to some a man of science and reason, to others a sage. Yet none of these titles do justice to him. In truth, he was all these things, yet more than the sum. He was a prophet with a message for telling a brighter future for all humanity. I would have done anything for him, and so I took on the mantle of assassin, not for the church, but for his vision. A vision of humanity free from the banal morality of lesser men, free from the limits of human understanding, free even from death itself. And for a time, things were good. For a time.
I'm telling you, they won't tell me anything. All I know is what I've been able to twist from Ancel. The slimy toad won't say much. Chances are he's been told not to report to anyone but the brass. But I tell you, he's getting worse, not better.
How can that be? I was told he's been letting blood every day for weeks.
That's likely true.
And?
And what? I don't know anything else. I told you they're keeping me in the dark.
Don't lie to me. A hunter can't slip in a puddle of piss without you running off to crawl up Ophelia's backside to tell her about it. I know you're her little errand boy.
So, what of it?
So tell me what she told you before I slit your throat.
You don't get it, do you? She hasn't told me anything. How do you think I know it's bad? It must be. Otherwise by now they would have announced he's recovering. She's keeping me in the dark like everyone else so she can control the situation. Why do you think she put a half-wit like Ancel in charge of his care? He's hers too, and she's getting ready.
Ready?
A bit naive for an assassin. Come on, think about it. Someone's gonna have to take over once he's gone. When the king dies, a new monarch has to be crowned.
Ah, brave hunter, how goes thee?
I've come to speak with Master Lawrence.
I'm afraid the good Vicar isn't ready to receive guests. Perhaps you'd like to come back once his condition improves?
What I'd like is to speak with him now.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. As his doctor, I must limit visitations in the interest of my patient. Soon he'll undergo a new procedure we've developed, and I'm confident it will control the outbreak of the... Oh, but I'm sure a few minutes with an old compatriot will do him good.
Thank you, Doctor. I should like to speak to him alone.
Of course, of course.
Lawrence. Lawrence, can you hear me? It's Brador. You have to get through this, Lawrence. You have to beat it. Ophelia's conspiring against you. She wants to take over the church. Don't let Ancel minister you any further. He's her creature, and you can't trust him. What's that? I can't hear you.
Burning. Fire.
Fire? What? I don't know what you mean.
Water. Water.
Good evening, Master Lawrence. How is my patient doing? Master Lawrence? Oh, Master Lawrence? Are you up and about already? Master Lawrence? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Where is it? Where is it? Oh no, oh no.
Ah, just the man.
Where is he?
We're not sure exactly.
Not sure?
We sent a party of senior hunters after him along with a team of runners. They found him in the central plaza and...
And?
They're all dead. Only one of the runners survived to tell what happened.
They're all dead. A team of hunters against one beast.
He's not turned into a regular beast. He's become something else. Something we haven't seen before.
He has to be stopped. For his own sake and for the church's. The hunters don't have the strength to do it, and neither do we. Right now he's in Cathedral Ward, but he could get to Central Yharnam at any moment. Never mind the devastation he'll cause. You know as well as I do that the people can't be allowed to see in this state. If he doesn't destroy us, what's left of the city will when they see what's become of their beloved vicar. Everything we've been working for could vanish tonight unless we act now. Brador, we need you.
Where was he last?
If the trail of dismembered corpses is anything to go by, he's heading towards Odin's tomb.
The rain is coming down hard. I'm afraid you won't be able to rely on fire tonight. And Brador, may the good blood guide your way.
So few of us ever really live the lives we want. Why are we here? What's our purpose in this world? You stand now in the holiest of holies. We are the purveyors of blood administration. Isn't that why you came here? To seek the blessing of the gods. We could use a man like you. Will you help us purge our city? I am Lawrence, vicar of the Healing Church. The key to the cosmos is here in our hands. The road stands before us. Great like this. We must be worthy of the mighty might. Reveal man's true nature. A blessing which to share for all mankind. Our fates are intertwined. We have another. You are the man I thought you were.
We walk in rivers of blood of our own making. To all who bear witness to this testimony, I say only this. My name is Brador, and I regret nothing. What's done is done, and nothing in man's existence ever changes.